What's up, Metal Maniacs? With Halloween on the doorstep, I'll give you my 7 album recommendations for Halloween. If you disagree or think I forgot something, let me know in the comments down below. And also, don't forget to subscribe and smash that like button. Let's go. The first album is Slipknot by Slipknot, their first studio album. It got a nice mix of aggressiveness, spookiness, and creepiness, and feels in some places very unsettling, perfectly fit for Halloween. For example, one of the songs who feels very unsettling is Surfacing. It feels very dark, angry, and nihilistic in the ambience, and therefore is a perfect song for Halloween. Sick is another sick song, which showcases the descent into madness more and more, slowly becoming insane by the protagonist, which is nicely done by Corey Taylor, who does an awesome job showing the descent into insanity by the protagonist. Another song from the album, which I think is pretty cool, is Scissors. I think it's an absolute masterpiece about somebody cutting himself open with a scissor, and it's creepy as fuck. It's aggressive and simply awesome. The second album is King Diamond's Puppet Master, a concept album telling the story of a man in Budapest who is searching for his girlfriend, but in the end getting abducted by a evil puppet master who through black magic transforms the protagonist slowly into a puppet. It's an absolute masterpiece in storytelling. It's completely horror, and in my opinion, one of the best, if not the best, concept album ever done. And if you want the whole story explained, there is a video on YouTube of King Diamond explaining the whole story of the album. I strongly recommend it if you're interested in the story. One of the best songs on the album, in my opinion, is Blood to Walk, which describes the need of the puppets for blood to move and see, which the puppet master always gives them before a show so the performance looks more alive. The refrain of Blood to Walk is very catchy, but it still makes you sad and almost a bit frightened. But the best song on the album is also the saddest one. It's a really hard-hitting song. It's called So Sad, and it's about the protagonist seeing his girlfriend for the last time as the blood given by the puppet master slowly runs out and he loses his power to see. And it's a beautiful duet of Livia Sita and King Diamond. In the duet, her voice is filled with sadness and lots of emotions, sad emotions, in the contrast to his voice being full of sorrow and anger about his fate and that he will likely never see his girlfriend again. The third album I have is Human Remains from Hell. Hell is an influential underground black metal group from the 80s, but they never actually released something until the year 2011 with their first studio album release, Human Remains. One of the best songs from the album, in my opinion, is On Earth as It Is in Hell. It's like the title says, that Earth has become hell. The refrain is catchy while the overall song is very aggressive and still melodic, while the vocals have a nice variation between screams, growls, and clean parts, which is nicely done by the singer of the band, David Bower. Another one of my favorite songs from the album is Blake and Fire. It's about the Black Death in London and an historic fire also in London. So it's more or less about the suffering of London in the Middle Ages. And the song feels a bit more occultic than the previous song, but also a bit passively aggressive. And then we have also Save Us from Those Who Would Save Us, This song criticizes the Catholic Church for the allegations of abusing children, and this song's atmosphere is a very sad one, but paired with a lot of anger and hatred for the church and for the situation. And overall, it's a beautiful album which isn't very recognized, so I hope you listen to it. Next up, we have Avenged Sevenfold with their best album, in my opinion, also called Avenged Sevenfold. The opening song, Critical Acclaim, has a very nice piano intro, which feels perfectly suited for Halloween, and the almost melodic refrain paired with the rap verse is a very nice mix. Then we have Almost Easy. This is a more quiet song. It's perfect to sing along and it feels sad, melancholic, but still groovy, if you know what I mean. Then a masterpiece is Afterlife, one of the best, if not the best, song from Avenged Sevenfold. And at the end, we have A Little Piece of Heaven, which is it's like a metal musical. It's kind of a love song, but it's about the eternal end. It's about dying, and it's a beautiful song. The next band is Powerwolf. It was hard for me to decide for one album because I could recommend every album of them, but in the end I decided for Sacrament of Sin. So songs I really like on this album is Stoßgebet. It's a fun song in the Powerwolf style, and the song is about a priest having sex, which in my opinion is quite hilarious. Next up we have Incense and Iron. This song feels like a song you would dance to if it was played on a party, but the refrain is as powerful as it can be, and the build up to the refrain is perfect as Attila's voice is constantly going a little bit higher and higher and higher. So it's a very powerful, nice song. And another song I want to talk about is Venom of Venus. The intro into Venom of Venus is with this operatic Latin part, which is a callback to the earlier albums from Powerwolf, where they have done this a lot more than in the newer ones. Refrain again on this song is also catchy, makes you want to sing along, and still very powerful, with much power in the vocals of Attila. Next up, one of my favorite black metal bands, Emperor, with the album In the Nightside Eclipse. So first off, the album starts with the opening track, Into the Affinity of Thoughts. It's a black metal opera. It has a very mystical and occult ambience, but it is also raw and aggressive. The next song I want to talk about is I Am the Black Wizard. It's a mystical and also powerful and raw, aggressive song, and it's kind of like a black metal version of a power metal song, which is very well done by Emperor. And despite it feeling like a power metal song, it loses nothing of that aggressiveness of black metal. And then we have A Fine Day to Die. This song is also such a masterpiece. The song, at first, it starts slower, it's more melodic, but it becomes a very aggressive, powerful, raw black metal song, and is, in my opinion, the best song on this album. I strongly recommend it for you to listen to. It's an absolute black metal masterpiece. And the last album I would recommend for Halloween is Horror Show from Iced Earth. So Horror Show is the last album with the legendary singer Matt Barlow before he left for the first time, then later came back for one other album and then left again. It's a bit complicated. So, Wolf, the opening track, is a kind of passively aggressive song that also contains a bit of a melancholic side and sounds like the really early Iced Earth stuff, something from Night of the Storm Rider or Burnt Offerings. Then we've got Damien. I believe Damien is the longest song on this album, and it's also like a metal opera. It's another masterpiece. Damien contains a lot of variety of parts. Like, you've got a melodic, slower part at the beginning, then then you've got aggressive and faster parts, and then again some heavier power metal parts. And this song, if I had to describe what a metal opera in my opinion is, I would choose this song for it. And lastly, let's talk about Dracula. One of the most famous songs from Iced Earth. It's a sad, melodic, sorrowful song at the beginning that after 1.5 minutes of slow and melodic intro turns into an really aggressive song full of hatred and anger, which is perfectly showcased by Matt Barlow screaming for most of the verses part, and then the refrain being more of an orchestral refrain part. It's a very nice combination in the song. So, but these are my 7 album recommendations for Halloween. I hope you liked them. Have a nice Halloween, and until the next time, goodbye.